And hello, everybody. I'm Julie Gentile, and welcome. Welcome to Yoga and Self-Care to help you stay calm in chaos. I'm so grateful you're here with me to talk about one of my favorite topics, self-care, and specifically how self-care can help you stay calm in chaos. Before we get going, I invite you to just get some water, find a comfortable seat, and without further ado, I want to start off by sharing a little about me and why self-care is an important part of my life. I'm a full-time working mom of little ones, and I'm working mostly remotely right now. At this point, screens follow me wherever I go. So any room I go into, a screen or two follows me. Can you relate? I'm also a yoga teacher and the author of two books, the award-winning book, 108 Yoga and Self-Care Practices for Busy Mamas, which was published in 2019. And my latest book, How to Stay Calm in Chaos, an Everyday Self-Care Guide, which was published in August. I'm also the creator of the Stand Up for Your Self-Care blog and YouTube channel, and my articles have been published in numerous health and wellness publications and websites. I'm here to share that self-care is possible even in the chaos. In fact, I'm able to do what I do because all the small things I do for self-care add up to helping me feel better. Self-care has never been more important than it is right now. And today we'll cover 5 things you can do for your self-care that can help you stay calm and well in chaos. Plus, these things are free or low cost. You don't have to spend a lot of money on self-care. You can actually save money in the long term by taking better care of yourself now. Sound good? So now that you've learned a little bit about me, I'd like to hear a little bit from you. So I have a question for you. And my question is, what does self-care mean to you? So just take a moment and just respond in the chat. What does self-care mean to you? It could be a phrase, an idea, a word, anything that comes to mind. Okay, so some responses: taking time for myself, taking a minute or more of time for myself, getting a massage, time for me and only me. So I'm hearing a lot of time, right? Time, all bucketed in. Breathing, excellent, absolutely is part of a self-care practice, or can be a part of a self-care practice. And so really, self-care goes beyond brushing your teeth and taking a shower. It's anything you regularly do that nurtures and nourishes your whole being. So that's physical, emotional, spiritual, and beyond. For example, preparing a healthy in-season meal for yourself, that's self-care. Exercising every day, that's self-care. Self-care is forever. It's lifelong. It's not like you're good to go after taking a walk outside one day. It's a continuous practice. And that's why we refer to it as a self-care practice. Also, self-care practices are highly individualized. Even though our self-care basics are the same, such as sleep, rest, water, nourishing food, no two people will have the exact same self-care routine, which is what makes it exciting. We're all drawn to different things to help us stay well. So I often talk about self-care in terms of a bucket. So just for a moment, if you will, visualize a bucket in your favorite color or pattern. And then every time you do something for your self-care, such as staying hydrated by drinking water, imagine adding a drop to your bucket. So keep adding drops, visualizing every time you practice self-care, these drops go in your bucket. And eventually your self-care bucket will become so full of drops that it begins to overflow, it begins to spill out. These drops represent self-love. And now, because you gave to yourself, it's easier to give to others. It's just easier to give in other areas of your life. I hope this visualization helps you know that your well-being can't wait. And today, you'll learn some ways to help you put your self-care first. So my next question for you is, what is your main barrier to self-care right now? So the first thing that comes to mind, I'm going to give everyone just a moment here to think about what your main barrier to self-care is. And if you could just type it in the chats. So anything that prevents you from taking time for yourself to practice self-care. So there's time again, time, obligations, work or my dog, making the time, many distractions. I have other things to do. And so these are very common responses that I do hear a lot. Family is another one. Family is another one that I hear. Yeah, so thank you so much for sharing, because I think, the theme, there's a theme in this, is that it's not always easy to practice self-care, because a lot of us, we have so much going on, and how do we prioritize our own self-care? So one of my favorite self-care practices is getting quality sleep, which is the first self-care practice we'll cover. So consistent quality sleep means going to bed at the same time every day and waking up at the same time every day, even on weekends. And sleep is really the number one self-care practice I recommend. It's something we all do every day, or I'll do every day anyway, and we need it every day, but the importance of it is often underrated. And so sleep hygiene is critical to well-being. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, 1 in 3 adults aren't getting enough sleep, which is 7 to 9 hours every night. So to be in that bracket of 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night, that's how you know you're getting enough sleep for you. But you may need more on that, in that range, or you may need a little less. So many of us are getting good for many of us, getting good sleep is not easy, especially in a pandemic when anxiety and stress can be super high. We might not be able to fall asleep. We might wake up in the middle of the night, or both. So how can we start getting better sleep tonight? There are some things we can do to help. And as we go through these things, see what you can easily start to do tonight, and then also notice the ones that you resist. So we already talked about sleeping on a consistent sleep schedule. Ideally, go to bed by 10 or 11 p.m. at the latest, and wake up at the same time every day. So that might be 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. for you for your sleep schedule. Maybe it's 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. And then start to notice when you feel tired at night. Is it around 10 or 11, or much earlier or later? In general, go to sleep when you first feel like you can't keep your eyes open anymore, because if you ignore that tiredness, it's easy to get a second wind. And I think many of us, or maybe all of us, have experienced that second wind. And then what happens? We start to clean the house, we start to bake muffins at midnight, we watch an entire season of a show. And when that's really the time our bodies and minds need to rest and regenerate for the next day. Because at that point, when we've already reached that second wind of the night, we're completely overstimulated. And so it's more difficult to just kind of wind down and calm down for the day. So one of the things that keeps us kind of in this overstimulated mode is our screen. So I already mentioned a screen follows me wherever I go, but really minimizing screen time an hour or two before bed is key. Adults in the US check their phones more than 80 times a day. And many people sleep with their phones right next to their bed or right next to their head. And so to help limit anxiety before bed, limit what you read and watch on your devices at night. Also, make sure you're not disturbed during your sleep. You don't want to be disturbed by a text message coming in or a phone call coming in. You want to get as much sleep that is restorative that you can. And so when I go to bed, I set my phone on airplane mode. You can also put your phone in another room at night. That's another option. Another thing we can do to get quality sleep is allowing dinner to be the smallest meal of the day, and eat it between 5 and 7 p.m. So when you eat dinner between this time, your body can work on rejuvenating itself and not digesting your meal while you sleep. Lunch should be the biggest meal of the day, eaten between noon and 2 p.m., because that's when the sun and your digestive peak are at their strongest. So, and breakfast aiming to eat that between 7 and 9 a.m. So there are some specific ways to consistently eat at these times every day to kind of help just reset your body for the next day. So when you think about your sleeping environment, think about our ancestors who slept in cool, quiet, dark caves. And so block out any light from an alarm clock or the street with the sleep mask. And I have one of my sleep masks here, do not disturb. Sleep masks do work. I use one every single night, and it really does help block out any unnecessary light that's kind of coming in. And also wear earplugs or have a different way to kind of block out noises while you sleep to just let go of some of that unnecessary noise coming in. You can use a white noise machine. You can also use a fan to help block out any additional noises in the background. A fan can also be used to help you with the optimal temperature. This optimal sleeping temperature is 65 degrees. A fan can help you stay cool. You can also open a window if the weather allows for that. And then one other tip about sleep is to create a bedtime routine. Your bedtime routine could be simple. It could be reading a chapter from a book or one of the other self-care practices that we'll talk about today, like journaling. And journaling is our second self-care practice. So this is one of my journals that I got from the dollar store. I get a lot of my journals from the dollar store. A lot of times they'll have some inspirational quotes or just a simple phrase that kind of inspires me, or a beautiful pattern and blank pages. And it's just a great way to get me to write and get me into that practice. So journaling is something I do every night before bed. And even if you don't consider yourself a writer and have never tried journaling, now is the time. This is one of my go-tos because it helps me think more clearly. It helps me organize my thoughts, and it helps me digest my experiences from the day. And so this is how much I love journaling. A few years ago, I had kept 4 journals. Each one had a different purpose. Now I have 2 journals. One is a daily freestyle journal, again, where it's just a blank page and I'm writing based on whatever's coming to mind, or just kind of doing a free form. And I also have a weekly journal where I write a list out and reflect based on a writing prompt. So those are the ones that work for me. But there are so many journaling styles, and you've likely heard of many of them. So there's gratitude journaling, there's reflection writing, free form, using writing prompts, and so many more. You don't have to follow any of these styles. You can be a journal rebel. You can journal about whatever comes to mind or an idea you have, but haven't had a quiet minute to really think about it. So journaling allows for that space of kind of inner calm and inner quiet. And that's the space that I do carve out for myself every night, because I can connect with that space, and I know that I can connect with that inner peace. And I look forward to connecting with that peace every night when I journal. And so my book, 108 Yoga and Self-Care Practices for Busy Mamas, includes several journaling prompts to get your creativity going. And I'd like to share a simple writing prompt from my book. So this one is about writing about your ideal day. So just to get you started, or maybe even if you're already a journaler, maybe this could be the next journal entry, but just write about your ideal day. If you were given a full day to do whatever you wanted to do, what would you do? Just allow this writing prompt to take you down a path of self-discovery. You can write as much as you want. The important part is not how much you write, but that you put pen to page and see where it takes you. And so the next self-care practice we'll cover is exercise. And when I say exercise, it's really movement that you enjoy and that's not forced. So during the pandemic, I rediscovered my love for being outside for long periods of time. And I actually walked so much outside almost every day at the beginning of the pandemic that my shoes developed holes. And I want to share some tips to help make exercise a habit. And so sitting is considered the new smoking. We sit in our cars, at desks, on couches, and at kitchen tables. So just like sleep, movement is essential to well-being. It keeps your body and mind healthy by releasing feel-good endorphins. And I know that every time I exercise, I feel better and have more energy because of it. But there's a balance with exercise. You don't want to overly exert yourself, and you also don't want to underdo it. So the American Heart Association recommends 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise weekly, which could be 30 minutes every day, 5 days a week. Or you can also break that down into 75 minutes of vigorous intensity aerobic exercise every week. So there's those two kind of recommendations, the 150 minutes a week of moderate intensity, and then the 75 minutes of vigorous intensity aerobic exercise. So whatever works for you, whatever style of exercise, form of exercise that you like. I aim for the trifecta of exercise every week. So that's cardio, strength, and flexibility. And when you're thinking about when to exercise, when you could even fit it into your day, especially if your day is so busy, just pick a time of day and a realistic amount of time that you can exercise that will be easy for you to stick with. So that's one less decision that you have to make. So for example, if you know that you wake up at 6:30 every morning, maybe getting ready in the morning with your typical morning routine, and then from 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m., you exercise. So really it's what fits in with your life, what fits in with your current schedule. And that may change over time, and that's okay. We adapt our self-care practices to us and to our schedules. And so really give yourself grace. So if you usually exercise in the morning, like if you're in the 7 to 7:30 a.m. bracket, as I mentioned, and you miss it because you have meetings or other things going on, you can move your exercise to later in the day, but not too close to bedtime, because exercising too close to bedtime can impact how well you sleep. So all of these practices are connected. So again, if we're overstimulating ourselves with vigorous cardio, exercise, anything intense just before bed, it's going to be harder to wind down and calm down from the day. I also encourage you just to take mini movement breaks throughout the day, and we'll go through a movement break in a few minutes. So another thought here is that in addition to walking outside as often as I can, one of my favorite ways to move is through yoga. So yoga is our self-care topic number 4. And in yoga, you can move your body, your breath, and your thoughts. So we'll walk through how. So just a quick question here for you. Have you tried yoga? If you could just respond in the chat if you've tried yoga. Okay, we have some folks who have tried the practice. Wonderful. Someone with an exclamation point. Yes, excited about yoga. Okay. Yeah, and even if you haven't experienced yoga on the mat and it was years ago, or it's just been a while since you've done the practice, there's a way when you get back into the practice that you can just pick off from where you started, right? You could just pick up from where you started last. And so yoga is a mainstay self-care practice for me, and it's actually what's helping me cope with the pandemic right now. I know I'm not alone, because a 2016 Yoga in America study by Yoga Journal and Yoga Alliance showed that more than 36 million people in the US practice yoga. I know that when I step onto my mat, someone else, somewhere else in the world, has stepped on their mat too. And that's a comforting, connecting feeling, even though I can't see that other person practicing, but I know that there are others practicing at the same time I am, no matter what time I step on my mat. And people come to yoga for a variety of reasons: to relieve stress. They come to it to help with anxiety and depression, to improve posture, for balance and stability, to just feel better, and so many more reasons why people come to yoga. I took my first yoga class at a YMCA 12 years ago. And now at that time, I had just started my first job out of college. I had a time consuming commute and I needed a way to just let go of stress. Before I came out of my last pose during that first yoga class, I knew I would one day teach yoga. And I was bursting to share this practice and this feeling of inner contentment and peace with other people. I had to share it. That same night of my first yoga class, I went home. I read my horoscope as I always did, and my horoscope mentioned yoga. And so when people think about yoga, they often think about movement. Movement can be a part of yoga, certainly, but there is more to yoga than the physical practice. It's more of a path and a lifestyle. So today we'll cover a sampling of yoga practices. We'll cover a breathing exercise, simple seated stretches, and a meditation. And know that it is your choice to participate and that it's always an option to observe. So let's begin. We'll begin by moving forward just a couple inches away from the back of your chair. So your back isn't way on the back of your chair. And so as you move forward a little bit on your chair, allow your spine to remain long, root your feet into the ground, and align your knees right over your ankles. And just rest your hands on your knees or your thighs, and gently close your eyes, or you can keep them open with a soft gaze out in front of you. And right away, begin to notice your body and scan it for any tension. Become aware of your posture. Become aware of where your head is in space, where your shoulders and your hands are. And then bring your awareness to your nose. And notice the sensation of your own breath going in and out. Allow your breath to just be easy. Every time you inhale, it naturally comes in through your nostrils. And every time you exhale, it just flows out. And breath is one of our greatest sources of energy and one of the best ways to help us stay calm and grounded in the present moment. Whether the present moment involves chaos or not, the breath is a tool to help you stay calm in the moment. And then draw your attention to your thoughts and just notice what is popping up for you. Thoughts will come in, but let them go. Don't attach to them. Notice, observe, let them go, just like a cloud floating away in the sky. And we'll come back to the breath. And we'll take 3 clearing community breaths together. Every time you inhale, inhale through your nose. And every time you exhale for this practice, we'll exhale out through the mouth. On your next inhale, a full breath in. Part the lips, easy breath out. 2 more just like that, long, easy breath in. Long, easy breath out. 1 more time, full inhale. And full exhale. And come back to your natural breath and place 1 hand on your belly, 1 hand on your heartbeat. When you inhale, just notice your belly and then your heart rising. So first belly rises, then heart. And then on your exhale, notice your heart and then your belly sinking towards your spine. Again, keep going. Every time you inhale, watch your belly and then your heart rise. And then every time you exhale, heart and then belly sink in toward the spine. Keep going, maybe even visualizing a balloon in your belly. And every time you inhale, your balloon fills up with your breath. And every time you exhale, the balloon deflates. 2 more breaths just like that. Inhale, belly, heart lift. Exhale, heart, and then belly sink toward the spine. 1 more full breath in and full breath out. And keeping your hands where they are, we'll count to 4 on our inhales and exhales. So I'll walk you through this. On your next inhale, we'll count for 1, 2, 3, 4. On your exhale, 4 counts out for 4, 3, 2, 1. Next inhale, count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, let it go for 4, 3, 2, 1. Another inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Another exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more breaths just like this at your own count of 4. And then eventually return to your natural breath, letting go of any counting or visualization. Release your hands back down onto your knees or thighs. And if your eyes were open, go ahead and gently, or if your eyes were closed rather, go ahead and gently open them. And we'll move into the movement portion of this self-care sequence, which includes stretches that you can do anytime you need a break throughout the day, in the morning, in the evening, whatever works for you. And we'll begin with some half circles, neck stretches. So we'll begin with our left ear toward the left shoulder, and then drop your chin down towards your heart. Take your right ear towards your right shoulder, and we'll go back the opposite way. So gently draw your chin towards your heart, your left ear toward your left shoulder, and continue. So just repeating chin toward heart, right ear to right shoulder. Do a couple more at your own pace. And keep your shoulders completely relaxed, your heart and your throat and your jaw soft. Just notice where you feel tension or maybe some resistance. But also notice with resistance, you also might feel a little bit of openness elsewhere. Just moving slowly and mindfully, these simple, subtle movements just help us bring us to the present moment. And 1 more half neck roll. We'll come back to center. Just gently stack your head back up over your heart. Your crown of your head will be high to the sky. We'll move into our shoulders. So we're doing a lot of hunching over laptops, phones, tables, etc. these days. So we want to relax our shoulders a little bit more, just to reset them. And we'll be using our breath as our guide as we move our shoulders. So just a simple inhale, take your shoulders up towards your ears, and then open mouth, exhale, relax your shoulders. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, take your shoulders up, all the way up. Open mouth, exhale, relax them. Again, inhale, draw your shoulders up. Open mouth, exhale, release them. And then using our breath, we'll roll our shoulders up, forward, and down. So inhale, take your shoulders up, then take them forward, and then relax and drop them down. 2 more times, just like that. Inhale, shoulders roll up. Exhale, take them forward like you're leaning them forward, and then take them down. 1 more. Inhale, draw them up. Exhale, roll them forward, and then release them down. Opposite way this time. Inhale, shoulders draw up. Exhale, take them back, squeeze the shoulders together, and then relax them. 2 more times. Inhale, roll the shoulders up, back, and then down. 1 more time. Inhale, take the shoulders up, back, and down. Go ahead and take your hands onto your shoulders. Your elbows will be bent. And then imagine that you're just drawing some circles with your elbows. It could be in your favorite color here, and we'll start to move our elbows in forward facing circles. Just start to go at your own pace. You can make the circles smaller, you can make them medium sized, even larger here. But the larger the circles are, see if you can go even more slowly. We'll do 1 more circle in this direction. And then we'll take those circles backwards. So imagine painting something with your elbows, a circle with your elbows, backwards. And again, the larger the circles are, the more the pace is changed here. So it's a little bit more slow if the circles are large. One more. And then relax your hands onto your knees. So move through a simple seated cat-cow. So traditionally, cat-cow is done in a tabletop position with hands and knees on the ground, but we can also do it from a chair. So as your hands come onto the front of your knees, inhale, think about lifting and shining a light from your heart forward. Look up towards your ceiling. It could be just a little tilt up. And then as you exhale, think about rounding your shoulders, just like we did with the shoulder rolls forward. Draw your belly button in towards your spine, and you can look down towards your belly or heart. Again, we'll move through that dynamically. So inhale, shoulder blades squeeze together, look up, heart shines. And then exhale, round your spine, just like a cat here, rounding your spine, looking towards your belly. Inhale, squeeze shoulder blades together, lengthen, look up. And then exhale, rounding here into your seated cat pose. 3 more times at your own pace. Using your breath as your guide. Every time you inhale, find expansion. And every time you exhale, sink into the movement. And after that last seated cat-cow, just come back to a comfortable position. And take arms forward here, palms face. And then take arms alongside your ears, palms stay faced. So we're going to come through a lateral stretch, just to stretch out our side body. Interlace your fingers, shoot the palms straight up toward the sky, and relax your shoulders. Arms will be alongside your ears. Inhale here, find a little bit more lift and length through your palms, and then exhale, a little tilt over to your left-hand side. Just start to feel a stretch along your right side, maybe from your hip all the way through your armpit and out through your palms. And take 1 more breath here, really fill up, and then exhale, we'll come back through to center. Inhale, find a little bit more lift and length through your palms, and then exhale, we'll move into the stretch the opposite way. And just start to connect with your left side body. Notice where you feel the stretch, maybe from your hip all the way through your armpit and out through your palms. And just breathe. And keep both feet grounded, both sit bones on your chair. 1 more full breath in, and full breath out. And we'll come back through to center. And then go ahead and just take your arms forward, palm space, and release your hands back down onto your knees or thighs. We'll come through to a wrist stretch. So again, we're on devices, so we're texting a lot, we're typing a lot on laptops, computer keyboards. So oftentimes our wrists, right, have a lot of tension. And so we're going to do a wrist stretch that I do every day. And I've been doing this one for every day for a very long time. So go ahead and take your left arm forward, spread your fingers wide, almost like you're making a stop sign with your left hand. And then with your right hand, Place your right hand on the fingers of your left hand. See if that thumb can get in there too. If not, that's okay. And just start to guide your fingers back towards your heart. And you start to feel an opening or a stretch here in the wrist. Notice what tenses up as you do this wrist stretch. Maybe it's your shoulders or your jaw, and just start to relax those areas. And then we'll take the fingers, spin them the opposite way. So fingers point down, and then same thing, your right hand's gonna come onto the fingers of your left hand, and just gently guide your left fingers using your right hand towards your heart. Relax your shoulders and breathe. One more full breath in and full breath out. And go ahead and release that. Just do a couple of wrist rolls one way, the opposite way. And we'll do the same wrist stretch opposite side. So extend your right arm forward, make a stop sign with your hand. And with your left hand, take your fingers on the fingers of your right hand. Once again, see if you can get your thumb in there and just apply some gentle pressure towards your heart. So fingers go toward your body, relax your shoulders, and breathe. Notice, again, as thoughts of your to-do list or anything else pop up in your mind, acknowledge them, and then just let them go. And then we'll take the fingers, spin them the opposite way. So fingertips point downward. Same thing here. Gently pressing left hand into fingers of your right hand. See if you can get your thumb in there. Relax your heart, your shoulders, your throat, your jaw. One more full breath in. And full breath out. And go ahead and release out of that. Once again, coming through to those wrist rolls. Maybe they go one way, and the opposite way. And then take your hands and burst them open like a starburst. And close them up super tight. Open them, close them. One more time. Open them, burst them like a starburst. And then close them up and release. From here, take your left hand behind you. So whether you're on a chair or a couch, just take your left hand behind you. Your right hand's gonna come to the outside of your left knee. We're gonna come through just a simple twist. We don't have to go deep at all. This is just a simple twist. Inhale, find a little bit of length through the crown of your head. And as you exhale, lead with your heart and a little twist over to your right. Keep going here. Every time you inhale, think about finding more lift and length through the crown of your head. And as you exhale, a little bit of twist over to your left-hand side. Let's take a couple more breaths here. Next, inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, return everything back to center. Same thing, opposite side. So take your right hand behind you. Your left hand comes to the outside of your right knee. Once again, before you twist, find length and lift through the crown of your head. And then exhale, start to lead with your heart into the twist over to the right. And this could be subtle and small. Subtle and small movement here. Inhale, find a little bit more lift. And exhale, twist. Maybe even this time looking a little over towards your right shoulder, maybe not. Two more breaths. Every time you inhale, finding a little bit more space in your body. And every time you exhale, moving into that space you just created with your inhale. Next inhale, lift up, and then exhale, come back through to center. So, what do you think? Are these stretches something that you can do at little breaks throughout your day? Even if it's not the same exact sequence, even if it was just the wrist stretches or the shoulder rolls, That could be something that just helps to just get a little bit more movement and help to bring more calm to the present moment. And so from here, we'll move into our meditation. I meditate every day because meditation helps move me out of fight or flight mode, bringing calm and balance to an active mind. So during meditation, again, it's natural for thoughts to come up. They're going to come up, right? Especially if you're a beginner and thoughts are coming up from your to-do list. When that happens, just encourage your own mind to acknowledge your thoughts and then let them go. Just send them on their way. They come up and then we let them go. They come up and let them go. So there are several types of meditation. There's guided visualization, mantra meditation, and many more. But today we'll practice metta meditation, also known as loving kindness meditation, which is a type of meditation that can help you expand compassion and kindness for yourself and others. And I like to practice this in the morning and before bed, but you could practice it any time of day that works for you. And this is a meditation from my book, 108 Yoga and Self-Care Practices for Busy Mamas. Begin by closing your eyes or keep them open with the soft gaze out in front of you. Reconnect with your body. Become aware of your posture, your head in space, and your shoulders, where your hands are. Notice any tension that may be lingering. Reconnect with your breath, drawing your awareness back to your nose. The simple observation of watching your breath go in and watching it go out. Notice if your breath feels the same as it did before we started our self-care sequence, or has it changed? Now again, in metta meditation, loving kindness meditation, we call upon expanding our compassion for ourselves, other people in our lives, and the world. So I'm going to say 3 sentences, and I'd just like you to repeat these sentences silently after me. May I be happy. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be well. And then think about a loved one. And we'll repeat these same sentences while thinking about your loved one. May they be happy. May they be peaceful and at ease. May they be well. And then think of someone you might have passed by in the last couple of months, but who you don't really know. And as you think about this person you don't know well, we'll offer these 3 sentences to them. May they be happy. May they be peaceful and at ease. May they be well. And now imagine the whole world and all the people in it. And as you think about the whole world and the people living in it, we'll send this same compassion and loving kindness using these 3 sentences to the world. May the whole world be happy. May the whole world be peaceful and at ease. May the whole world be well. And just take a few more breaths. Just cultivating that compassion for yourself, for your loved one, for the person you thought of that you may have passed by and don't know well recently, and for the whole world and all the people in it. Take a full breath in, full breath out. 2 more times, just like that, full long breath in, easy breath out. 1 more, inhale and exhale. If your eyes were closed, gently open them. And how do you feel? Yeah, so all of these practices in this yoga self-care sequence bring something different to help you stay calm in the present moment, from the breathing exercises to the movements and then to the meditation. And again, there are so many ways to meditate, so many styles and forms. This is just one that resonates with me, which is why I do it every day. And so the last self-care practice that we'll talk about to help you stay calm in chaos involves other people. And can anyone guess what it is? Can you guess what it is? It's asking for help. And so we can't do it all alone, even if we think we can. It's okay to ask someone to help you. It's not easy to do this sometimes, because sometimes we just feel like we should be doing it all. And to ask for help is to stand up for your self-care, which is the name of my blog and YouTube channel. And so recognizing when you need support is self-care. This moment in time, right here, right now, is the time to speak up and really ask for what you need. Our physical, emotional, and mental well-being are better off when we're supported. So my questions for you are, who can help and who can you ask to help you? So who can help and what can they help with? And how? So just think about it. Start to think about the things that you're needing support in your life. It could be something small. Maybe you're needing connection with someone else and it's picking up a phone and calling someone or asking them to call you. So really, who can help and how? How can they help you? So we covered 5 self-care practices that can help you stay calm in chaos: sleep, journaling, exercise, yoga, including the breathing, the movements, and the meditation, and asking for help. And so from what we talked about today, just take a moment in your mind and just note which self-care practice you will start today. Again, it could be an idea that you have based on what we talked about today, or maybe it's one of the practices that we did today. And just think about what resonated with you and what you know will help you stay calm in the present moment. And I really encourage you to start with one small thing, just one thing. And know that when you start with this one small thing, you can build from there. And there are so many self-care practices out there, and I cover many more of them in my book, 108 Yoga and Self-Care Practices for Busy Mamas, which is available on Amazon, the MSI Press website, and Barnes & Noble. And also my latest book, How to Stay Calm in Chaos, an Everyday Self-Care Guide, again, which was written during the pandemic. And really, these books are tools. They make great gifts for holidays, baby showers, and birthdays because self-care is for everyone. It's for us, it's for our loved ones, it's for the people in our lives, it's for the world. And so also my YouTube channel, Stand Up for Your Self-Care, contains several yoga practices, meditations, and breathing exercises. And these are videos that you can view similar to some of the practices we did today. You could subscribe to my channel and access all of these free videos. And I add new self-care articles to my blog every week. I blog on Self-Care Sunday, and my blog is juliegtheyogi.com. And I often write about the same type of topics that we talked about today, yoga, self-care, meditation, breathing exercises, and more. And if you're interested in taking a yoga class with me, I do teach yoga, and the information has been posted in the chat. So these yoga classes are also a great gift for yourself or someone else in your life. And you can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Julie G the Yogi. I'd love to connect with you and see how your self-care practices are going. Again, a list of all of these resources have been added to the chat. And so you took the time today. You took the time to learn more about yoga and self-care. You took the time to show up for yourself. And know that every day you are worthy of this time. You are worthy of the 5 minutes, the 10 minutes, the hour, the entire day, the entire weekend, the entire month, entire year, your entire life, however long it takes to take care of you. You deserve the self-care you need to stay calm in chaos so that you can be happy, healthy, peaceful, and at ease. It is my honor, my passion, and my privilege to be here with each of you. Thank you so much. And from my heart to each one of your hearts, namaste.